Yeah. So
Shall I just put okay there?
That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
और आप किसी को टच मत कीजिए. So again, guys, thank you very much, sir, for joining for our online Vihara. We are truly honored to have SD Borkar Sahib on the call. And today's topic is political history of the making of the Indian Constitution. So without further ado, I will request SD Borkar to start, but I will give a quick brief introduction about the Borkar Sahib here. So Borkar sir completed his MSc in chemistry in 1975 from Nagpur University. That's long back. And later on, he was a lecturer at the Ambedkar College, Dr. Ambedkar College at Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur from 1975 to 1977. And later on, he joined as a custom house in Mumbai. And after retired, he was also the retired as an additional commissioner at custom in 2011. And he served as a president of BAMSEP from 2003 to 2007. He was also the chairman of DP Khapate Memorial Trust. He was also the president of Mool Nivasi Sangh for 2 years and president of Mool Nivasi Karmachari Kalyan Mahasangha for 2 years. He also served as a president as People's Party of India from 2018 to 2021. And he was the general secretary of PPID from 2024 to 2025. So it's a very long introduction and long social service done by the Borkar Sahib to our community back in India. So without further ado, sir, it is over to you. And today's topic is political history of the making of Indian Constitution. So, and thank you for joining today, sir. It's our pleasure to be here on the online we have.
Mr. Vasnik, having invited me to address the Indian diaspora there. I'll not touch anywhere now on the screen because I don't know.
Correct, sir. We can hear you, sir. Yeah, please continue. आप ऐसे continue कीजिए. Yeah.
Close the link. So first of all, I thank you all. See, when our topic is the political history of Indian Constitution, so why a nation needs a constitution? That is the first thing I just wanted to tell. Nation needs a constitution. Why? Because the country has to function under certain rules so that there should not be any problems in governing the country. So therefore, every country needs a constitution. That is one first thing. That is what I am to tell you. Now, for the governance, there are 3 systems of governance all over the world. There is a monarchy, then there is a autocracy or a dictatorship, and third is the democracy. Of the 3, Baba Sahab has said, ultimately, in a monarchy, whatever the monarch says, that is the law. Same is the case with the autocracy also, or a dictator. Nobody can go against the wishes of a monarch or autocrat. Therefore, Baba Sahab has preferred democracy for this country. Now, when we talk of a constitution, it means rights, the constitutional rights. Now, you see, before the new constitution has brought into play, there was a constitution for India, what is known as Manusmriti. You see, in the Manusmriti, the rights were given to only Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishya in the Chaturvarna system. Shudras and outcast, the untouchables, were having no rights. So basically, the writing of this constitution is for the rights of the original inhabitants of this land, but also called as Shudras and Atishudras. Because the other three, they were already having the rights. So they don't need any other constitution because they were already having the rights. We were not having the rights. So basically, this constitution is written for the rights of the Mool Nivasi Bahujan Samaj, which according to Brahmanism, we have been classified as scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward classes and converted minorities. But fundamentally, the constitution is written for we people. It is not written for, say, so-called high caste people. But then it is a constitution for the country. And since they live along with us in this country, therefore you can say this is a constitution for them also. But fundamentally, this constitution is written for us. So let us proceed how this political history of this constitution. See, the Baba Sahab has started his movement by forming a Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha in 1924. But immediately thereafter, the Royal Commission, what is also known as the Simon Commission, had come to India to ascertain the position whether the Indian people under the British Empire are happy or they have some grudges. So for that, the Royal Commission, also known as the Simon Commission, that came to India in 1928. Because in the first Government of India Act 1919, every 10 years they used to review and find out the position of their subjects, whether they are happy under the empire of the British. For that, that commission had come. Baba Sahab has appeared on behalf of the untouchables. He represented there. But you see, the Congress has denounced the incoming of the Royal Commission, and they have not cooperated with the Royal Commission, and the Royal Commission has to go back. And therefore, the British government have called for a roundtable conference. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar from the Bombay Presidency and Mr. R. Srinivas from the Madras Presidency, they have attended the roundtable conference on behalf of the untouchables because they were officially invited for the roundtable conference. Now, in the first roundtable conference itself, when before the first roundtable conference also, I just forget to mention, Lord Birkenhead, who was a Secretary of the State for India, he has questioned the Indians because the Indians were asking for their dominion status. So Lord Birkenhead said, if you really wanted a dominion status, then you first prepare your constitution. The challenge was accepted by the Indian National Congress, and the Indian National Congress, under their CWC, that is the Congress Working Committee, they have appointed a constitution committee headed by Motilal Nehru. In that constitution, the there are many other things that are written in the constitution. That draft is available online. One thing in the constitution was mentioned that the voters' right, the franchise, should be there a limited franchise. Limited in the sense those who are having a property, those who are paying a tax, and those who are literate. Only they will be given the right to vote. That is the limited franchise. Now, why the Congress people has written like this? If we go back 3005 years, then from the history, you will come to know when the Aryans have invaded this country, the first thing they did is that they have taken away our three rights. That is the right to education, right to property, and right to weapon. Now, these three rights are very important rights for the development of a human being. If you are illiterate, if you do not have a property, and you do not have a weapon to defend yourself, then you are worse than the animals. So these Aryan Brahmins, they were knowing very well that the majority of the people, which comprises of 90% population of this country, they have no education, they have no property, and they have no weapons to defend themselves. And that is the reason the Nehru Committee said that those who are educated, those who are having a property, and those who have those who have no weapons to defend, and that is why they felt that these people will definitely not get the right to vote. Why? Because they don't have all these three things. But there, when this report was placed before the Congress Working Committee by the Constitution Committee, in the Congress Working Committee, there were people from the different castes of India, maybe illiterate, but they have said there in the working committee, this particular right to vote, we also wanted this right to vote. And therefore, ultimately, the Congress Working Committee has accepted their viewpoint, and it was incorporated in the final draft, and that is published as a Nehru report that is available online. Now, these people who have signed that document, Nehru report, the same people, they went to the first roundtable conference in 1930. From our side, R. Srinivasan and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, they went. When the matter came before the franchise committee there, the very same people who have signed the document that there will be a adult franchise, when they went there in the roundtable conference, first roundtable conference, where Gandhi did not go, they have refused the adult franchise for the Indians in this country. And they have reverted back that franchise should not be available to the 90% population of this country. And then Babasaheb stood there and he said, unless there is an adult franchise given to the Indian population, the question of dominion status, which the Congress is demanding, does not arise. Means he said nothing doing, no dominion status unless the adult franchise is given to we people. Now see here why the Congress does not want to give the adult franchise. Forget even the adult franchise, Baba Sahab has said before that house that they were not ready, even the liberals amongst the Congress, they were not even ready for giving a 25% of the franchise to the Indians. So it is simple. They do not want that the political power of this country should go into the hands of the majority population of. If the adult franchise is given to Indians, and we being 90% population in India, the political power shall go into the hands of the Mool Nivasi Bahujan Samaj. That is the reason Congress does not want the adult franchise or even the 25% of the franchise to be given to the Indians. For very same reason, Baba Sahib wanted it. Why? Because he also wanted that the political power must come in the hands of Indians or the majority population of this country. Then only our rights we can secure. So basically, the political history of the Constitution is nothing but the power struggle between the so-called high caste, or you may call the Brahmin, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, and the large majority population of India. So that was a power struggle. And in this power struggle, ultimately, Baba Sahib has won. The Britishers have to agree for the adult franchise. Now, having acquired adult franchise for the Indians, Baba Sahib was not happy because he was representing the untouchables. And despite the adult franchise, the untouchables population being around 20%, he was sure that with that 20% population, the representative of the untouchables will not be elected to the provincial assemblies. And therefore, in the second roundtable conference, he has pleaded for the separate electorate. Why separate electorate? Separate electorate means there is one general electorate. In that general electorate, the candidates from all the communities or any community can stand as a candidate. And the untouchables have to vote even to the general candidate. From the general seat also, the untouchables were also allowed to stand. But in addition to that, Baba Sahib wanted that we should have a double vote. Double vote means a separate electorate, one vote to be casted in favor of a general candidate, and one vote exclusively should be casted in favor of the untouchable candidates, so that the true representative of the untouchables, they are elected in the provincial assemblies, and once they go there in the provincial assemblies, they will fight for our rights. They will ensure that the laws are framed for the well-being of the untouchables. They will ensure that the government of the day will frame the policy helpful to the untouchable.